Bonjour et bienvenue à la nouvelle édition de Français pour les anciens étudiants d'espagnol. Aujourd'hui, vous aurez besoin de votre cahier, bien sûr, un crayon ou un stylo, puis tenez à la prochaine page de votre cahier, s'il vous plaît. So turn to the next page in your notebook. Et pour moi, c'est la page 38. Pour vous, c'est quelques pages. So whatever page it is for you. Et comme toujours, la date, pour moi, c'est le 11, 12, 16. Et aujourd'hui, on va discuter les verbes qu'on préférerait. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at verbs that are like préférer. These are verbs that change accents. So I am actually going to call them accent flipping ER verbs, because most of the verbs that do this are actually ER verbs. So, all right, so for this, what you need to remember is that at their heart, accent flipping ER verbs are exactly that, ER verbs. They are regular verbs and they will follow a pattern. There is no direct correlation between verbs that change their accents in French and accented verbs in Spanish. Okay. So there is no difference here. So we have probably the most commonly used of these verbs, which is préférer. Ça veut dire to prefer. Now what you need to know is that for the most part, this verb is conjugated just like a regular ER verb. However, there are a couple of changes. So let's take a look at what those changes are. You'll notice that il y a deux accents aigus ici dans l'infinitif. So there are two accents aigus in the infinitive. And what we're going to deal with is this second accent. It will become an accent grave, but not in all of the forms. So s'il vous plaît, je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il pluriel et elle pluriel. Now, since you previously studied Spanish, I'm going to do something that is going to look very familiar to you. I am going to draw what we used to refer to in Spanish class as a boot. And I'm going to leave the nous and the vous form out of this terrible drawing of a boot. Now, if you really need it to look like a boot, you can put a heel on it, and a sole, and some shoelaces, and it's a manky old boot, so maybe it's got stink marks coming out of it. That's entirely up to you. However, everything inside this boot, or this box, will react the same. Everything outside will be different. Okay? So with this being the case, the nous and the vous, the accents stay the same. So we have nous, préfère, and you'll remember that the ending is ONS, so préférons. Ici, c'est préférerait, comme toujours, EZ. So these do not change. Everything else inside this box, the second accent is going to change from an accent aigu to an accent grave. So, je préfère. And you have that accent flip here, which is why this is pronounced préférons and this is préfère. It's a very small difference, but you might be able to hear it. So, tu préfères, préfère, comme ça. Préfère, préfère. I'm going to just underline all of these things that we need. Ça, ouf, bof. If I could write in French today. Préfère. So ici, c'est l'accent grave, le deuxième E. La deuxième E has an accent grave. Okay. And then here, il and elle préfère. Comme ça. On voit encore, on change l'accent. So we change the accent one more time. Préfère. Okay. Now there are other verbs that work like this, and you kind of have to know what they are. So some of the verbs like préférer, we have suggérer avec deux jeux, suggérer, to suggest, répéter ou répéter? Oh, bof. C'est répéter avec deux accents aigus. Répéter. Est-ce qu'il y a des autres? There may be others, but these are the ones that you're going to see most often. There are some that pick up an accent grave, but that don't have one in the infinitive. So we have espérer, which picks up an accent grave. It doesn't have an accent that flips to begin with, but it does pick one up. Espérer means to hope or to wait for. Répéter, of course, is to repeat. And suggérer is to suggest. Okay. Bon ben, ça suffit. S'il vous plaît, à l'indice. Et ça, c'est la page 38. And we call these accent flipping verbs. Accent flipping verbs. Actually, I think I called them accent flipping ER verbs, but you can see that they're ER verbs when you get there. And comme toujours, la date, please make sure you are using la date pour vous. Merci. Au revoir.